They're dead. They're finished. There was a time in this business when they had the eyes of the whole wide world. But that wasn't good enough for them. Oh, no. They had to have the ears of the world, too. So they opened their big mouths, and out came talk. Talk, talk.
With the announcement of this year's BAFTA and Academy Award nominations, and the films one battle after another and Sinners setting new records, it's safe to say this year's award season is well underway, as the great and the good of the film industry slap each other on the back and proclaim, "You're great. No, you're great.
I'm the king of the world!"
But with box office numbers continuing to fall, does this year's list of award nominees encapsulate all that is wrong with cinema, as audiences look at the latest releases and think to themselves,
"They don't make them like this anymore."
Award season 2026. So, what did I think? Now, about this time last year, I released a video discussing the problems both the Academy Awards and the film industry had inflicted upon themselves, with 2025's award season filled with nominees selected by panels and voters who assumed they obviously know better than their audience. Films that barely a year later have not been so much forgotten, but never even registered with the public.
And the Oscar goes to? Are they playing us off?
No. Well, maybe. Honora.
Movies playing in theatres trying to survive in an economy of shrinking audiences. Theatres that feel the urge to gouge those remaining customers in every aspect of the cinema-going experience, from where you sit to what you drink. But why would filmgoers pay exorbitant prices for the dubious pleasure of watching mediocre movies surrounded by loud-mouthed morons with no sense of cinema etiquette, when they can simply wait out the ever-shrinking release window for streaming and watch the same mediocrities from the comfort of their sofa? But instead of learning from its mistakes and nominating movies people actually enjoy, the film industry has decided in its egotistical stubbornness to double down, lecturing the audience with film nominations that show how much better it is, both politically and morally, than the plebs watching at home. And in doing so, alienating even further the very people it needs to survive. But it wasn't always like that. There was a time not so very long ago when just the nomination on a poster was a guarantee that cinema goers would flock to theatres, if only to see what all the fuss was about. While the industry built up interest in the public by selecting a mixture not only of box office crowd pleasers, but also smaller films, plucky underdogs that the audience watching at home could root for, giving viewers surprises even on the nights where the big winners were a dead cert.
And the winner is Morgan Freeman driving Miss Daisy. Yes.
And the Oscar goes to Jessica Tandy driving Miss Daisy.
And the Oscar goes to...
Driving Miss Daisy, Richard Dezanek, Willie Taniznak.
And the Oscar goes to... Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot.
But this year saw a reversal of that formula, with the blockbusters in the minority. Instead, the list of nominees consists mostly of productions commissioned for streaming that barely saw the inside of a theatre, moderate successes, and downright flops. From the little scene Begonia to the little scene The Secret Agent. With two films in particular leading the race and revealing the cynicism and hypocrisy that lies at the heart of the industry. You may remember I reviewed Sinners last year, and as I said then, it's a good film, but it's also deeply flawed, and in any other year, I doubt it would have gotten as many, if any, of the nominations. But 2025 has been exceptionally poor, and any decent film will come across as a masterpiece, but one can't help but feel it was an easy choice, being one of the few popular films that people actually saw and enjoyed. And the Academy can select under its own ridiculous and recently self-imposed standards to qualify for Best Picture. But just as Sinners is about to take the glory, like every bad B-movie, there is a ridiculous twist. And this year, it comes in the shape of one battle after another. The very personification of every problem Hollywood has created for itself. Overlong with a bloated budget that has damaged its parent studio, this is a Paul Thomas Anderson film that will have to take over $300 million just to break even. With a political message about modern day America, which is about as subtle as having your face smashed in by a fist wrapped in the American flag. A film that also captures the divide between the shill critics of the traditional media, desperate to stay relevant, who are proclaiming it to be the film of the year, and audiences sick of being told what to think and what to feel, who aren't even bothering to show up.
Order! Order! Knock it off!
Despite its flaws, Sinners is the obvious choice for Best Picture in a very poor year. But with the Directors Guild of America Awards last weekend selecting one battle after another, an award that has only failed to predict the Academy Award for Best Picture 8 times in the last 78 years, it's looking likely we will have to prepare for another year of millionaires who play pretend for a living, deliver round after round of self-indulgent and tone-deaf political messages that will be sure to get standing ovations in the auditorium and viewers at home switching off. But how long more can the studios, with out-of-control budgets and dropping box office numbers, truly ignore the elephant in the room? Because no matter what the result is and who wins, the ambivalence of the audience is truly damning.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else.
Where's the TV guy?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And if you liked this episode of So What Did I Think and you want to see more, please click like and subscribe. Feel free to share this episode with someone you think might like it. And remember, always subscribe. Thanks for watching.